Today's breaking news. In a move that has stunned global markets and left Washington scrambling, India has officially joined China in a sweeping ban on key U.S. imports, wiping out over $300 billion in trade virtually overnight. This shocking alliance between two of the world's most powerful economies has sent shockwaves through Wall Street, triggered an emergency response from the White House, and left former President Donald Trump absolutely furious. Subscribe to our channel. Just days ago, top U.S. officials were quietly celebrating a rebound in trade with Asia. Now, that celebration has turned to chaos. According to sources within the Indian Ministry of Commerce, the decision to implement the ban came after secret high-level talks with Beijing, talks that allegedly involved military cooperation, digital currency agreements, and, most alarmingly, plans to challenge U.S. dominance in global trade. That's right. What started as a diplomatic dispute over tariffs has now erupted into a full-blown economic rebellion against America. The story gets even more jaw-dropping. Leaked intelligence reports suggest this coordinated move may have been in the works for months, possibly even during the final stretch of Trump's presidency. But why now? And why India, once seen as one of America's strongest allies in Asia? It appears that Washington's increasing sanctions, tech restrictions, and military deals with Taiwan may have pushed both China and India to the breaking point. And with recent BRICS meetings expanding rapidly, sources say this is only the beginning of a new anti-American trade bloc. Meanwhile, American farmers, tech giants, and pharmaceutical companies are watching billions in revenue vanish overnight. In Iowa and Texas, soybean shipments bound for India are being turned around mid-ocean. In Silicon Valley, tech executives are holding emergency meetings to reroute supply chains and prevent massive Q3 losses. And in Washington, insiders claim President Biden has been briefed on a worst-case global scenario, one where India and China lead a movement to sideline the US dollar entirely in global trade. But the biggest twist? According to several high-ranking diplomats, India's decision was reportedly sparked by what New Delhi called economic betrayal from Washington. In a fiery statement from India's finance ministry, officials accused the US of manipulating WTO rulings, favoring European competitors, and even weaponizing trade to exert political control. And with China already months into a campaign to cut off American semiconductors, rare earths, and agricultural imports, India's sudden alignment could mark a turning point in 21st century geopolitics. Former President Donald Trump didn't hold back. In an emergency appearance on Fox News, he blasted the Biden administration, calling the trade collapse a total disaster of historic proportions, and warning that China is building a global empire while we're busy arguing over solar panels. Trump, who once hailed India as America's great economic partner, now says the US has been stabbed in the back by our so-called allies. But here's where it gets darker. Financial insiders warn that this coordinated embargo could trigger a domino effect, with other BRICS nations like Brazil, South Africa, and even Russia tightening their grip on US trade. The IMF is reportedly bracing for major currency volatility. And Wall Street? It's in panic mode. The Dow fell over 1,200 points in a single morning, its worst drop since 2020. Goldman Sachs is forecasting potential stagflation if the trade war deepens. As of this moment, U.S. ships are being denied access to several key Asian ports. Billions in pending exports are frozen. And tech firms relying on Indian software engineers and Chinese hardware are racing to find emergency alternatives. Some insiders say this could reshape the global supply chain permanently. And just when you thought it couldn't get more intense, an unconfirmed leak from within the State Department reveals that a secret diplomatic channel between Washington and New Delhi may have been severed altogether. That's right. No back channel. No talks. No off-ramps. So what's next? Will the U.S. retaliate with sanctions of its own? Will American allies in Europe and the Pacific step in to mediate? Or are we witnessing the rise of a new economic Cold War, with China and India at the helm? One thing is clear. The global balance of power is shifting, and America's trade dominance is under siege. This isn't just about tariffs, it's about influence, alliances, and the future of economic freedom. We'll keep following this story as it develops, But for now, America stands at a dangerous crossroads, and the world is watching. Subscribe to our channel to stay ahead of the curve and never miss the real stories behind the headlines.